Good morning with Authentically Me, Tina Brown. Yesterday, I did a video on a pretty serious topic. Actually, I think it was the day before yesterday. On the sexual abuse, forgiveness, the forgiveness video. And a very old friend of mine, thank God for all the healing people in my life. I've been on this healing journey for over 34 years. That's a long time. And a friend of mine that's a psychotherapist had watched the video, and she said, you might want to put a warning out there that this process and where I'm at in my healing journey may be very different from where you are in your healing journey. And I want to talk about that today because she's right. And I don't want to be, I try not to be, because I don't believe any of us are different or special or anything like that. And so I didn't really put any warnings or caveats out there, but maybe she's right, and I'm going to do that today in this video. There was a time that I could not speak about the abandonment issues with my mother without crying, without screaming, without hatred in my heart. There was a time when I could not talk about my father, physical abuse, neglect, any of his womanly stuff without being very angry or crying and hurting so deeply on the inside. There was a time I couldn't even face the sexual trauma because there was so much shame and so much guilt that I had taken it on as it was mine. And if you are new to this process of healing, I want you to know that the videos that I do here are from a level of, after many, many, many years, as I just said, of work to heal this with therapists, not with Tina. And only in the last few years it's taken. So it's been a 34-year journey. And only in the last few years, since I met a group called Awakening Together, and a lady I've mentioned before, Anne Blanchard, and some of the books that we've read and we've been through, which I'm going to go over those tomorrow, that have helped me so much. And it was the spiritual growth at the end. It was facing everything, but also the spiritual growth in the last few years of letting go of these stories, of letting go of the claws within the story that have really set me free. And that's why I'm doing these videos, because I'm finally at a point in my life, after all these years of working on this, free. Free. I can have sex and without guilt and shame. I don't cringe when people touch me. I'm still picky about who can touch me and who cannot touch me. Don't let me fool you. I don't hold the hatred I used to hold for men. Still not a great trustworthy person. Can go right back there in a minute, right? Which is not fair, but the awareness is there. Still don't make great relationships with people, but much better than they've ever been. There's all sorts of improvements in my life. It's little by little though, right? And I just want to make sure that I come in here and tell you that when I do the Ho'oponopono prayer, which I've barely touched the surface of that, I was just taught that by someone that I adore, one of my spiritual friends, and it just changed my life. And so I wanted to share that with you. But that, you can look that up. That's a whole community that you can learn all about that. And it is so incredible. To me, it's been incredible. And Awakening Together, that group has been incredible. And the work is not easy. It's hard. Lots of therapists. I'm still in EMDR. I think it's called EMDR. I don't even know. Therapy today. Because I don't know about you, but I refuse to leave this life with any of that baggage. Any of it. I refuse. It sounds like resistance, right? I just heard that resistance. I don't know. If I'm meant to leave this life with some of this baggage, I guess I will. But I would like to do everything I possibly can to not leave this life with any of that harm or perceived harm or any of that. So I want to be careful not to go down that journey too much. But the next video we're going to walk into is going to be more based on beliefs, and we're going to head on to the spiritual side of this and the healing. But challenging old memories, being willing to look at this and challenge the memories and challenge the truth and challenge the illusions and challenge and realize where the mind is connecting on its own and the body's acting on its own and how we're not really responsible for that. What I'm responsible for is what I do with that, right? What I do with that. What do I choose to do with that? And if I want to be free, and if you want to be free, like I want to be free, then we're willing to go to any length to be free, right? To stare it right in the face and say, you are not me. I am not you. We don't know really what is going on here, but we are willing to look at you, love you, not run from you, get the help we need, and walk through the fire to be free. Free of the bondage of self, free of the bondage of created fears, free of the bondage of abuse, free of all the abusers that have ever done anything. I don't care if it's mental, sexual, whatever. I don't want to keep the bully in the closet. I want to be free. Do you? Keep watching, like and subscribe, but please know that I'm not a beginner at this, and so I'm just sharing experience, strength, and hope. I am not a therapist. Please go get the outside help that you may need and join me on this journey of what is changing and happening in your life. What are you discovering about you? Share in the comments. Let's make a group about this. Let's put this out in the open and say it's okay to be where we are, to walk where we need to walk, and not stay the victim. Freedom is here, right now, today. Will you choose it? See you tomorrow.